All right. Amy, do you see, are you good?
Yes, yes, yes. Everybody's being let in and we see the screen, your
Okay.
screen.
Please make me a co-host, Deborah.
Will do. Thank you. All right. Good morning, everybody. We had, for some reason, we had more than one link. Don't know how, but that's okay. Welcome, everyone, to the BCN. We're thrilled to have Bill Bolling, our chairman and senior advisor of the Food Well Alliance, as our keynote speaker. And Bill's going to be joining us in a little bit. His topic is innovation in the time of COVID, how public and private partnerships work together. And Bill, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thanks, Deborah. Love to be here.
Okay. I'd like to introduce and recognize our team. Jeff Chernoff is the founder and president of the BCN. And my colleagues, in addition to Jeff, are Ann Ross, our executive administrator, Fred Broder in sales, and Buddy Wofford in sales and marketing as well. Our co-hosts this morning are Jeff and Tricia Malloy, Amy Henkel and Roderick Ricks. They're our volunteer committee. Tricia is the president of Working with Wisdom. Amy Henkel is the CEO of Mythos Media, and Roderick Ricks is the director of sales for the MP Group. During the time that we're with you today, please mute your mics when you join today's meeting. And as we go through the program, I want to make sure that you're set up for success. So here are a few nuggets to share with you. With regard to 4 times that we will do the live chat, the first time is going to be when we have a thank you moment or a success story. And since this is organic, we don't know who's going to share, please type into the chat box to Tricia Malloy, and Tricia will then let me know that you would like to share a thank you moment or a success. And I know there's plenty of them out there, so look forward to hearing. When Bill starts his talk, we'll have time for possibly 2 or 3 questions for Bill. So the first 3 members to ask Bill a question, if we have time for 3, will win a Stars and Stripes $100 entertainment pass, a Good Game $100 gift certificate, both thanks to Taylor English for their donation. And then John Parker has donated 12 bottles of hand sanitizer. And thank you, John. The best way to enjoy and view Bill's talk today and our spotlights is to mute your mic and click on the speaker view, which will be either at the bottom left corner of your screen or the top right. When you're in speaker view, it's still important to keep your mics muted in case you have a cough or if you get a phone call. So please just keep that in mind. When I go to Bill as our speaker or any thank you moments, I will stop sharing my slides so that we focus on that person. So you'll see me doing that throughout the time that we have our program today. Especially, as I mentioned, during the renewal spotlights. And then once we are done with the Q&A with Bill, we'll go back to the slides. Our mission, as everyone knows, is to create a sense of community through building holistic relationships and helping everyone generate a return on investment and building strategic partnerships that are sustaining. And our value proposition, more than any other organization, is focused on strategic business development and building partnerships and alliances. A lot is going on during the course of every week, every day, every month with all of you, and we're thrilled that you're doing so well. Professional development is through Bill and other keynote speakers, as well as when you do your seminars and workshops 4 times a year. And then our community engagement with our nonprofit, the Atlantic Community Food Bank, and others that may join us as well. Our toolkit is these roundtable forums that will soon go live, and we will keep you abreast when that happens. In the meantime, we'll be doing it as Zooms. Our Ambassador Advocate Program, it's a great way to get to know your fellow member and see if there's an opportunity to work together. These are 30-minute pipelines now. We also have our website profiles. As you know, this is your mini website so that our members can learn more about your your value proposition and your offer. And then we do news and events and resource sharing. Our advocate program is a 30-minute monthly program. It's a pipeline with myself. You can do it with Jeff Chernoff, as well as Fred Broder and Buddy Wofford. And this is a time to, again, get to know each other and see if there's opportunities to generate not only a friendship, but either bring on a new client or build warm referral and a warm referral exchange. And the focus, as you guys know, and you'll hear later today, is the value that you bring. The result is going to be building strategic relationships and friendships. I'd like to thank our volunteer committee again. They are all terrific. And Mike Feely with Procom and Dave Pierce. Tricia Malloy once again with Working with Wisdom. Amy Henkel, Mythos Media, and Roger Nip. Duffy Dixon and Duffy Dixon Media, and the MP Group, Roderick Ricks, Director of Sales. Our keynote speakers for the rest of the year, we have room to show up to September. So we're proud to have the Metro Atlanta Chamber, Katie, the CEO is our speaker, April 8th, and Gail Evans in May, Kyle Wade in June, Chris Clark, July 8th with the Georgia Chamber. We're working on a new one in August, and then September we'll have a hospitality panel. Now I'd like to go to thank you moments and go to Tricia Malloy. Tricia is going to operate and monitor the chat. And I know that some of you have had some great things happen. So please let Tricia know. And we have about 5 minutes to cover that.
Amy Kelly is first.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, as you guys know, I'm new and I received my first referral from Skip, and he was nice enough to refer his dad to me in order to do a Medicare plan. That's pretty great. And it was a great conversation, and we were able to switch him from a Florida plan to a Georgia plan. And I just really want to thank you, Skip.
Amy, where are you again? There you are. I think that's a great story. And I'm hoping that Skip is on. He and I spoke earlier this morning. And it shows a great way that everyone is cross-pollinating. Next.
Sachi is next.
Hi, this is Sachi from Mikado Japanese Restaurant. I decided not to renew for this year, but I just wanted to thank everyone for supporting us during this past 2020 year, and the relationships that I made through this community has been awesome. And I just wanted to thank everyone for that. And I'm pivoting and sort of focusing on the next steps coming out of COVID for the restaurant. So I would like to come back in September when everything starts moving and everyone's vaccinated to move into the next step. So I just wanted to thank everyone.
Sashi, you are very near and dear to my heart and many others that have gotten to know you this year and have had the opportunity to enjoy your delicious cuisine. I can list quite a few right here actually that I'm looking at. So Sashi, it won't be goodbye. It's just going to be your fine tuning and getting ready. And we look forward to you joining again in September and potentially either speaking for us with William Pate in September or in November.
Yes.
Well, stay on, please, because there's a lot of good things for you to hear. Is there
Thank
another?
you.
Sure.
Scott Capri is next.
Yes.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Tricia. In particular, I just really wanted to thank a few folks that I've had time to speak with. Russ Hall over at Action Coach, Wealth Management Group, Mark Lewin, even Sachi over at Nakata, and especially also Ben Burgess at the Atlanta Community Food Bank, Justin over at the Atlanta Hawks. I see some great opportunities based on our conversations for some awesome collaborations where really at the end of the day, keeping Buckhead the big theme topic here and all around Atlanta. But since we are predominantly in this area, there's a great way that I see us all collaborating. And I'm waiting to get the results back of a survey I sent to the entire dealership based on all of the services available. So as soon as I get those results in, I'll collaborate with Deborah to really try to pinpoint the companies within the BCN and see if we can ultimately work together. And based on the amount of feedback, that's how many folks I think would be interested. But thank you guys again all for taking the time to work with me in the last month or so.
Well, I want to just brag on you for a minute. You've really made the BCN your own, and it's just terrific that after into your third year, you've been able to educate your staff, the management more about us, and they've really embraced it. And
Mhm.
so this really is a great opportunity, everyone, to get to know Mercedes-Benz of Buckhead as a friend and as a member, and Scott in particular. He's terrific. And we are opening up, as you know, or if you don't know, to your employees and families so that anyone that wants to maximize the BCN's services and your services, it is open to, again, employees, families. Okay, are we ready?
Amy Henkel is next, and
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
I'll
Amy?
make it real quick. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Aaron Wen for the opportunity of working on Hunter Recruitment website. I'll keep it short.
Okay, well, very nice, Aaron. All right, we're going to go back to shared screen. And next we're going to go to, let's see, hold on one sec. There we go. Bill, I'd like to do a nice introduction for you. It's with great pleasure that I introduce Bill Bolling, my friend and colleague and mentor since my days with the Georgia Restaurant Association. Bill's talk with us today will focus on innovation in the time of COVID, how public and private partnerships work together. Bill will share how these collaborations during COVID have worked so well that they've resulted in many positive outcomes for Atlanta, Georgia, and the businesses, families, and constituents who stand to benefit. Bill will then bring back to each of us these learnings and outcomes in his talk that can help your company, your fellow leaders and employees, clients, and strategic partners. Bill has quite a legacy. He founded the Atlanta Community Food Bank in 1979 and served as its executive director until 2015. Under his leadership, the food bank distributed more than 500 million pounds of food and grocery products through a network of more than 600 partner food pantries, community kitchens, shelters, and other nonprofits that feed the hungry across 29 Georgia counties. As a charter member of Feeding America, the national network of food banks, Bill played a key role in the launch of food banks across the country. Bill was also instrumental in starting the Georgia Food Bank Association, which through his help established 8 food banks serving more than 2,600 hungry relief organizations in every Georgia county. Bill serves as chairman and senior advisor of Foodwell Alliance, a network of growers and leaders in Atlanta's local food movement. He's committed to strengthening the healthy food systems and increasing access to locally grown food. In addition to his work in the Foodwell Alliance, Bill has convened and facilitated the Atlanta Regional Housing Forum since its inception in 1988. He's a sought-after facilitator, a bridge builder, a mentor, and a connector. His work extends beyond Atlanta to Georgia, the U.S.
Hey, enough already, Deborah.
I know. All right. Well, let me bring it back to the awards that are very, very special. In recognition of your life's work, Bill received an honorary degree from Emory University in 2018. He was inducted into the Georgia Trend magazine's most influential Hall of Fame in 2015, and he was named Georgia Trend's Georgian of the Year in 2012. Bill, with no further ado, we look forward to hearing your talk.
Thank you, Deborah. And thank you all for having me today. I know I was scheduled in June and Cal was scheduled today, so we switched spots. I'm going to tell a little story on the food bank, but I hope you'll all come back on June the 11th and listen to Cal Wade. I also want to do a shout out to Ben Burgess, who I see on the call, who's a colleague from the food bank. And good to see you. So you hadn't had a haircut this year, Ben. So hope you get a shot soon. So, Deborah and I go way back. And, one of the things we go back to is working in the hospitality and restaurant industry. Which has been so supportive of the food bank and so many programs around Atlanta. So I always knew if you want something done, ask Deborah. So she got this thing switched around quickly. And again, thanks for the opportunity. Just to say, Foodwell Alliance, which is a new organization started after I left the food bank, serves urban farms and community gardens, compost programs all over the 5-county area. But Something you may not know, Foodwell Alliance supports the Atlanta History Center Tully Smith Farm, the Blue Heron Nature Preserve Community Garden, the Cathedral Towers Community Garden, the Garden Hills Elementary School Garden, Little Nancy Creek, Peachtree Hills Community Garden, Sarah Smith Elementary School. So we've been very involved in the Buckhead area, both in providing food and they, of course, have been supportive of us. Today's talk, which will be very quick because I know you've got a lot of other business, might be a counter to you reading the paper this morning or watching the news. So my stories is not exactly whether Congress passed the $2 trillion bill, but what has happened at the local community that might give us hope and a sense of direction for the future. I know we've all been challenged in our personal lives, in our business and our jobs, figuring out how to support our children, fearful of getting sick or losing people we love. And it's been such a challenging year, like no other. And we're not done with it yet, but I think we're starting to see the end, a time when we could be together. And really the value of networks like the one you represent is being together. I love your mission of developing a sense of community and developing strategic partnerships. That really could be the mission of the Food Bank or Foodwell Alliance. It's all around community building. So I wanted to just tell a couple of quick stories that would give examples of how business, the nonprofit, the faith community, government has worked together to solve some of our challenges. You know, at the end of the day, we all vote with our feet, whether we show up to this particular network or another, there's got to be a value proposition out of it. So I'm really going to speak to that. Back in March, when things were just starting to happen, one of the philanthropists who lives here in Buckhead, Jim Kennedy, who's the chairman of the Cox Foundation, asked the question, how could he and the foundation help? He was particularly interested in frontline healthcare workers and police and firemen, those people that always showed up for us and continue to show up for us. In a brief, very brief couple of weeks, Emory Hospital, followed by Piedmont Hospital, recruited 17 other hospitals in metro area to participate. Nancy Rigby at the Cox Foundation, with the support of business leaders like Doug Hertz, folks from the restaurant industry like Tony Conway, who you know from Legendary Events, or Robbie Cooper, who's on my board from Fifth Group Restaurants. Really, the whole industry stepped up, and each playing a unique role. And over the next 3 months, which was so critical, we delivered 145,000 meals to frontline workers. They gave, one of the keys to that is instead of having one kitchen create all that food, we decided to get that food from 20 different restaurants, paying retail and giving people jobs. You know, and that was brilliant from my perspective. One of the biggest challenges was logistics and safety. How do we move it around? How we get it in the hospital? None of us quite knew what to do back then. And that expertise really came from the business community and the cooperation of local government. So kudos to that effort. I really helped folks on the front lines. I know another great example, and I'll just do this very briefly because Kyle's going to talk later. And now I'm looking at my screen. I see Cameron Turner there. So I want to give a shout out to her from the Food Bank. Thanks for being here, Cameron. You know, the Food Bank in the spring was called on to double and then later to increase the output of the Food Bank. Luckily, they just finished a campaign, built a new facility down in East Point. I don't know, Cameron, I think you guys have been in there for about a week when everything got shut down. But they had the support of the Downtown Rotary through this program called Atlanta Community Kitchen. They used kitchens at the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Braves. They had support in labor from the National Guard. They had support from Chick-fil-A, NCR, Home Depot, all homegrown communities. And they delivered over 500,000 additional meals. An incredible effort that wouldn't have happened without everybody coming together. And then last year, again, back in probably June or July, a group of us came together knowing that we had thousands of people that had lost their jobs and were behind on their rent. And we were talking about 30, 40,000 people. Some of you may know some of those folks. The hospitality industry was hit so hard. So we had folks that were behind on their rent. If we hadn't had the moratorium, they would have gotten kicked out. We had folks behind on their mortgages that might lose their homes. It was a tsunami coming at us. So there was so much pressure, particularly on the owners who had to pay their mortgage. So you don't just think about the renters, but the folks. About 80% of the apartments owned in town are owned by individual owners, not the Post or the Amleys and so forth. So that's who we were trying to help. So a small group of people led by attorney and advocate for the homeless, Jack Harden, with Doug Hooker, who's the CEO of ARC, Milton Little, the CEO of United Way, Frank Fernandez, the new CEO of Community Foundation, Katie Kilpatrick, who was head of Metro Chamber, and a team from Cox Curry began conversations about how we could prevent this tragedy. We had no idea whether Congress would get its act together or whether it's got its act together today, but we had no idea then whether there would be support. So we created this, what we called SOAR team, and we began talking to the public and private sector. We talked to service providers, to landlords, to renters. We had long conversations with the Department of Community Affairs, Christopher Hayes, who's the commissioner, state agency that handles all the federal funds. We talked to banks, particularly Truist Bank, about doing transactions. We talked to software companies. And we built trust in one another. We clarified and agreed on roles. And we built new connections that really hadn't existed before. Congress finally came through with the funds at the very end of December, and those funds are just getting delivered now. So DCA will be working with all the counties all over the state, but they'll be particularly working here where half the state lives in the Atlanta metro area. So I think all those conversations, all that planning really started paying off. We were ready with a plan. People knew their roles, and people and organizations were talking to each other, sometimes for the first time. So those three stories, and I could tell many more if we had time, but I'm just telling you those three stories. I think what they point to is the very thing that your association, your network points to, the power of relationships and having a network, particularly when times get tough. The essential ingredient of building community and strengthening community and building partnerships is to build trust. That's what we don't have in the political world right now, but I would say we have it in spades right now as we're building this year between the public and private sector. We learned that everything is connected to everything else. Our public and mental health, we could see that that system was weak and it's taken a long time to get their footing. Education and the access to the internet, which affects our ability to have our jobs. We're not all meeting downtown Buckhead. We're all on computers today. And it also helped our children learn during the pandemic. Affordable housing was a huge issue. The environment and climate change may be playing a role in actually how this virus came about. So if we've learned anything over the last year, it is that these systems are connected to each other. And if you have a weak link somewhere, the whole system's not going to serve the community as we would want. I would say, from my experience, politics is pretty broken right now. It's actually perceived as a weakness to compromise or find common ground. I mean, we can just see examples in the last month of people who are trying to find a middle ground actually get attacked. So there's an action, a negative reaction, and what I'd call a lose-lose proposition. One of the things I learned at the food bank many years ago is you had to create a win-win. If you wanted the food industry to participate, it had to be a good business practice. It wasn't just that they were going to give to charity. From my experience, all action is local. That's where the money gets spent and it's passed around among us. So as much as we watch the news and look at Congress or UN or anything else, I would say it's all local. And we know that because we're here this morning. There's more public and private partnerships and collaborations than we've had in the past. I would say that the government has the money, but the business community and the private sector has the know-how. They have the trust and they know how to manage opportunity. I would really look to what we learned this year as a model for going forward. I'd also say that a lot of young people are involved in this. I teach some at Emory, and these kids are so smart. I wouldn't want to compete against them. They're appropriately naive because they think they can change everything. I was appropriately naive when I started the food bank, but they're entrepreneurial in their thinking. And that to me is tremendous encouragement. And then finally, I would say everybody can do something. Every one of us has a core competency or a network or a circle of influence that can play a role. So I don't know that you do that collectively, but I can just look at the screen today and I could start calling out names of people I know I have worked with or you have supported community-based efforts. I want to thank you for that, and I'll stop in the consideration of time, but Deborah, if there's any time for questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Yes, I would say, Bill, first of all, thank you. Before we go into takeaways and thanking you in a big way, we have time for 2 questions. So the first 2 people that ask will have an opportunity to win the gift certificates.
Hey, it doesn't even have to be a good question if you're going to win something there. So.
If you want to type into the chat box for Tricia, she can tell us who would be the first person to ask a question. Okay, well then I'll ask, and I won't get the gift certificate. I will pass it on. Bill, what you shared today, the trust is so important. And just taking one word would be trust in our organization, because relationships are everything and they're so sensitive. And you say the right thing, you say the wrong thing. I mean, so how someone who's done this your entire life, what advice would you say about trust and how our organization, all these owners that are with us today, what's the best thing that you could share about that?
Well, we're in a cancel culture right now. So, we all say the thing or the dumb thing or the wrong thing at the wrong time. So we're all, I think, kind of hypersensitive. My experience is it helps to talk, except, we got things like civic dinners where we can talk about core issues. My experience is we have to do something together. And it is that doing. It's working shoulder to shoulder, everybody playing the role that's appropriate to them. That's been the story of the food bank. I mean, from the very beginning, we started in the basement of a church and grew it into a $150 million company. And it all was based on volunteers and on companies doing what they could do well. We learned from them. I would say the reason I've been successful is I've had a lot of great mentors and a lot of people that have taught me along the way.
And Matt Hoots has a question. Matt?
Matt, you can unmute.
Sorry, I thought I just had to go from that. My question mainly regarding to the food bank. I know there's a lot of discussion about how climate change is affecting our environments, but there's also another effect on how these things are dealing with food insecurity. So how do you think those two play together? Because I know that our food sources are critical for our populations to survive over the next couple of decades.
Boy,
Hey,
if we
Bill,
learned anything.
Bill, I just want to interrupt and say, Matt, we only have 1 minute for your question to be answered. So go ahead, Bill.
Okay, well, I would say if we've learned anything in a pandemic, you kind of look at Maslow's hierarchy and you start with food and shelter and health. That's where we had to begin. I've worked in around food for 40 years, grew up on a small farm in North Carolina. So it's a very intimate kind of relationship for me. Water is the issue and good soil. So as we just have come out of a 10-year drought here in Georgia and could go back in, you see huge amounts of California farms buying up land in Georgia now because they're running out of water out there. So I would say that's the key issue. Part of what we want to do with Food Well is teach people about how you create good soil, because it's all about the soil, how you best use water and save it. You know, how we get locally grown food and help. And as we look, we have, I think, 29 urban farms in the 5-county area. We have over 300 community gardens. So I feel very encouraged that we're teaching our children about where food comes from, how it's grown, and what we've got to pay attention to feed humanity in the future. Good question.
Bill, what's the best way for everyone to reach you? Because I know there's going to be a lot of folks that where your comments resonated today. What's the best way to reach you?
Well, email is bill.bolling@acfb.org. Atlanta Community Food Bank, acfb.org. That would be a way, 404-731-0584. It's a little dangerous these days. I'm handling my own calendar, so if I don't get back to you right away, I'll find you soon. But I've known of this through Deborah, this network. I love your mission. I love the fact that you guys are coming together, and I love you start the meeting by shouting out for each other how your network's working. That really is the future. When we often talk about government and private sector, I think we've shown this year how the private sector and foundations and the faith community and volunteers and young people can come together. We got our people fed. We're going to house our folks. We're figuring out how to get our kids educated. And eventually, I think we'll feel safe and get together.
Well,
Thanks
Bill,
again, Deborah.
thank you very much. Stay on with us because I would love for you to see the rest of the program. We have a gift for you. We'd like to give you a $100 gift certificate to Stars and Strikes Family
Boy.
Entertainment Center. Yep, and it can be for your family and however you want to use it. It gives you 2 hours of bowling, 1 lane, shoe rental, 1 pitcher of soft drink, a large topping of pizza. It's valid 7 days a week. And
Hey, I've got my shots too, so I'll be over there soon.
all right. And Lisa, are you with us? I saw you before, Lisa Angeles. Lisa, you're on mute, but Lisa
Yes,
is,
here I am.
yes, so Lisa's a corporate sales manager with Stars and Strikes. So Lisa, introducing you to Bill, Lisa will reach out to you and then I'll mail your entertainment pass. And thank you again. I think everything you said was fabulous, Bill. You know, it's so true about the connections that we make and the relationships we have and how we sustain them. And we all have our good days and bad days. So thank you for being such a great leader. And stay on with us because now we're going to go to our spotlights. So the first spotlight, we're going to go back to sharing the screen. And we're going to go to Ruben with Appliance Care. Ruben has renewed for his 2nd year. Ruben, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay, let me stop share and see if we can find you.
Okay.
There you are. Ruben, you
Okay.
have about a minute and a half.
Awesome. Perfect. So it's not letting me start my video for apparent reason, but happy Thursday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing fantastic today. I was hoping to do this in person. Deborah knows about that, but looks like we'll have to wait a little bit longer. for that maybe next year. But we're Appliance Care of Atlanta, and so we're one of those companies that hopefully you don't really need, but it's good to know that someone who does provide these type of services. And so our value proposition is that we pretty much provide every sort of appliance repair, maintenance, and installation that you could think of. We mainly do focus on residential appliances such as refrigerators, washers, dryers, cooktops, vent hoods, pretty much any appliance that you would find in a typical household. And we do have technicians stationed pretty much throughout the entire Atlanta area. We do Cumming, Woodstock, Kennesaw, I-20, Lawrenceville, Milton, all of those areas. So we just have technicians stationed out there, and we try to provide same-day service. All of our vans are stocked with the most common parts, so we try to get the job done same day. Worst case, we'd have to order it and come within the next couple of days.
Ruben,
But yeah, so
Ruben, what is your member offer what is your member offer?
yeah, so our member offers that we do offer a 10% discount to all BCN members for off the repair. Our ideal client is pretty much anybody with an appliance, so anyone who has a household. Our best referral partner is pretty much someone like us who's probably in the service industry, where they deal with clients day to day, go to people's homes day to day. So yeah, best way to reach us is, I don't know if we have it up there, but you guys could shoot an inquiry in the chat. I could text them or put the number in there, and you guys could reach our office line or my business cell phone directly. So yeah, that's us.
Well, Ruben, it has been a joy getting to know you. You're also a Consumer's Choice Award winner, you and your mom and your sister, your company. So congratulations from last year.
Thank
And
you.
I know you do a little bit of commercial. So for our restaurants and any businesses, you also repair refrigerators and ovens in restaurants. Is that correct?
Yeah. So yeah, we do commercial ones as well, but yeah, our main scope is with residential.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Terrific job. And next is Duffy Dixon. Duffy, we're gonna stop the shared screen and go to you. Let's see, I'm gonna go in reverse. We're gonna do the stop share. I'm gonna go to you. Where are you, Duff?
Right here.
Okay.
All right. Hi, everybody. Duffy Dixon Media. This is my second year renewing. And one of the things I do is video production. So here are my 2 latest videos, and you're probably going to recognize some faces.
The reason I wrote this book is that everywhere I go, people seem so stressed out, and that's not what life is supposed to be, right? I think we are complicating life. So learn to recognize what is it that stresses you out. That's when you can really learn to take stress and eliminate it. So next time when you start feeling that stress coming on, stop. I want you to take a deep breath in, pause for a minute, let all the stresses out with your breath leaving you, and then just smile. Smile, not because you're smiling at other people or for other people, but when you smile for yourself, it changes your whole psychology and your physiology. So just learn to smile.
We consider ourselves a communication company as well as just an IT support company or security company. All of that moves information. It's all communication of some sort. We do it safe, we do it effectively, and we do it well.
My dad was a mechanic. That all came through the family. I started out just about the same way, and I just love fixing things. And so I build the back end of all this stuff and try to make it as easy as possible for the user.
My role is to make them relevant to people that have never heard about them before, and to take them from a seedling to a forest. The value that they bring is that they are a relationship-driven company. They have been together for 12 years. They've never met a stranger. People love to talk to them because they actually listen.
Show horse.
Workhorse.
I'm the one you see. He's the one that keeps it flowing and moving.
So thank you to my 2 most recent clients for those videos, and many more of you I've worked with. So I hope to work with you, anybody in the BCN.
Well,
and
Duffy,
beyond.
you did a terrific job. I know, Mike, are you here with us still? Mike Feely?
I'm here.
Great
Well-
clients, great clients. And the video, so that people know, video over Zoom is not great. So the quality is much higher than that. But I just want to give an idea of what I do and if I can help you in any way.
Duffy, you did a terrific job with producing all the videos and
Oh,
the
thank
time and attention. So we really thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Love what I do.
Next is Brian Walls with the Wealth Enhancement Group. Brian?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Walls. I am with Wealth Enhancement Group. We are formerly joint advisors when we first came on board here to BCN, or behavioral wealth management firm founded in 1991. And essentially, we want to help you use your money and other elements of wealth as a tool to help you live and lead a meaningful, joyful, and fulfilling life. Ultimately, we understand that time is our scarcest resource. So we want to combine the traditional wealth management spokes and pillars, cash flow analysis, risk analysis, estate planning, and also, mitigating your tax exposure. But we have a passion for the human factor. We definitely have a specialization in working with business owners. Mark Lewin, I work alongside with him. We have strategic liquidity services. Essentially, we want to help you prepare for your exit, make sure that you have a roadmap to understand all your different avenues to create liquidity from your company that you've built, making sure that you can mitigate your capital gain exposure. But first and foremost, we want to understand your life priorities, what's most meaningful and important to you at what we call the intersection of the corporate and the personal. Ideally, our clients are physicians, attorneys, business owners, individuals that are open to self-discovery, understanding their relationship with money, making sure that we can provide for not just yourself, but also, legacy, referral partners, state, corporate attorneys, investment bankers, commercial bankers, CPAs, CFOs, as well as just business owners and or other strategic partners. Our complimentary member offer is actually, we're giving a second opinion offer. We actually can help you develop that roadmap in a platform that we have. It's called eMoney. And ultimately, we want to partner with you on your short and long-term goals and make sure that you have clarity and organization around what you're doing with your finances.
Brian, very well said. And thank you for being a third-year member, all of you, Mark and Charlie, you and Craig. You've meant a lot to the organization. So thank you very much. And now we're going to go to our new members. Paul Reed with Concrete Solutions of Atlanta. Welcome, Paul. This is your first day of your first time with us. Paul?
Hey, Deborah. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Hey, everyone. I'm Paul Reed. I'm the owner of Concrete Solutions of Atlanta. So I own a hardscape company. So essentially, we do retaining walls, driveways, new driveways, patios, replacements, from anything from your basic add-on, if you need additional parking for your kids to park or whatever, to a brand new location for your driveway. We carry a 10-year warranty on everything we install. And we also do sinkhole repair. So if you've got a big dip in your yard or under your driveway and it just keeps sinking, it's likely you have a sinkhole. So we have a lifetime warranty on that. Our ideal client is decisive. That's always good, and appreciates attention to detail. So we're very detail oriented. We take a lot of pride in what we do. You only get one chance with concrete as it sets up and gets hard on you. So we take a lot of pride in our work. Our best referral partner is going to be anyone in the home service industries or home service business. So real estate brokers, inspectors, even landscapers or waterproofing companies in the home services. So our member offer is $500 off any driveway replacement. And the best way to reach us, got the number on our page, but it's all on there. I guess that's it, Deborah.
You did fabulous. You worked very hard on it and you did terrific. And we've never had anyone in your business, in your industry. So we're thrilled. And I want to go back and just say, as I always do, that all of you do such a terrific job in your craft. And so it's just great to see that we have such a great group of members. Next, we have Muscali Chiropractic, Ed Muscali. Ed, you've got about 1.5 minutes to 2.
I'll do my best.
Are you unmuted?
Hello, BCN. It's so nice to be with you. I'm Edward Muscali. I am a chiropractor with one office nationwide. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Deborah, for all the work you spent and the time that you spent with me, and for Amy Kelly for connecting me to Deborah. Thank you. The value of our office as a chiropractor in the Atlanta area is basically our approach. Our approach for our patients is to be thorough on every visit. As a result of that, our patients are well served by the amount of time that I spend with them. We schedule our patients an hour apart. The reason I do that is so that it allows me to address the many supportive and related areas that are oftentimes responsible for a patient's symptoms that sometimes get missed when people have care elsewhere. This includes working on muscles, working on extremities such as a person's jaw, wrists, ankles, knees, hips, and those kind of things. Our ideal patients, if you happen to come across people that are looking and seeking wellness care, people who just want to remain healthy or prevent illness, which is particularly important during these COVID times, that would be a great referral to our office. Somebody seeking relief of pain from an injury perhaps, or an accident, as well as the person suffering from somebody that is just simply chronically nagging them and reoccurring. Trouble in their foot or their knee or their hip or something of that nature, people with headaches and whatnot. Anybody that is possibly seeking pregnancy support is another very good referral to our office because our methods are very gentle and very specific. One other area that would be a great referral to our office would be people interested in improving their performance, whether it be golfing or tennis, whether it be martial arts or dance. Those are great referrals to our office. Good people who supply referrals, sources, and referral partners would be fitness trainers, physical therapists, medical doctors, nutritionists, alternative healthcare practitioners, such as an acupuncturist or a nutritionist. If you know people like that, that would be a great referral to our office, even attorneys. We have a member offer for BCN members to be supportive. Our member offer is that certainly a complimentary health consultation is possible, that we do that readily. But then in addition to that, if a person is interested in coming for an examination to our office, they will receive a 30% discount off their initial visit, examination, and treatment. So it's so great to be here. Remember, when it comes to health, prevention is key, and Muscale Chiropractic is the place
to be.
Thank you, everybody.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So Ed, Dr. Ed, it's great to have you with us. Amy, thank you for the warm referral and to the organization. And also Mark Lewin, thank you for introducing me to Concrete Solutions to Paul, because you called Paul when you had a problem with your driveway and retaining wall. So thank you very much. And great job, everybody. Next and last on the new side is Verified Home Services. And that was a warm referral from Megan Ritchie and Ruben Gloschek. Justin?
Hi, my name is Justin Facilla. Thank you very much, Deborah, for that. I'm the owner of Verified Home Services. I own a home service guide that I've been mailing out to homes since 2010 in the metro Atlanta area. I mail out over 560,000 books per year, with the demographic that all my clients and all home service people would like to have. We have already about 5 clients that are in the BCN that are in my book, and we'd like to get 5 more and get the opportunity to see, how people enjoy the book, how many leads they're getting. My ideal client is anywhere from a home service company that could handle anywhere from 100 to 1,000 leads per year. And just wanted to thank everybody. Also, my member offer is going to be $200 off a contract fee and a 30-minute consult. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to go onto my profile at Verified Home Services or get with Deborah or however you want to do it. But thank you very much.
Great job. Thank you, Justin. And Justin is getting married in 10 days. So we all should wish Justin a happy wedding and happy marriage. And also want to let you know today is Tina McKenna's birthday, McKenna Media Group. So if you all want to reach out to Tina. Tina, are you with us? Okay, she's celebrating her birthday. All right, and now I'd like to welcome our guests. So I'm going to share the screen and go back to welcoming our guests. Let's see, hold on. There we go. So I'd like to recognize next to us Caesar and Rick Modern and Emily Modern, as well as Hannah and Ashton, and then Rosewood, Jacqueline Lithcomb. So I'm going to go back to stopping share. And Caesar, if you could say hello so everyone can see you. Where are you? I know you're here.
Thank you very much, Deborah.
And Caesar,
I'm here.
You want to take just like 15, 20 seconds to say what Next to Us means, Next to Us Northwest?
Yes, Next to us, Atlanta Northwest, we are a local supply chain logistics and technologies firm, helping people get their products from point A to point B in a timely and effective manner.
Wonderful. And we, again, have never had a concrete company, never had a chiropractor, never had a supply chain company. So welcome and thank you. Next is Rick Modern and Emily Modern. Rick and Emily.
Hey guys, I'm Rick, State Farm agent. April 1st will be 13 years as an agent and have 2 offices in Metro Atlanta, one in Kennesaw and one in Brookhaven, right at 285 and Ashford Dunwoody. And thanks for having us today. I appreciate it.
Well, and real quick, your focus is, with your firm is in what 3 areas?
We are obviously auto, home, and then life insurance, and we help small business as well, but we just really focus on good quality families and referral type business.
Thank you to Dr. Ed for the warm referral, and thank you both. I see you there, Hannah. And then lastly, we have Jacqueline. Jacqueline with Rosewood Home Care. Jacqueline?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Lunscombe with Rosewood Home Care. We provide senior services throughout the Metro Atlanta area, focused mainly in Cobb County. So if you know of anyone looking for those services, please let us know, as we want to service all of our seniors.
Jacqueline, we had a member in your industry a couple years ago, but we don't have anyone now, and it's great to have you with us. And thank you. And thanks to, let's see, to Dr. Ed, to Amy, and to Amy for introducing us, and to Roderick for introducing us. We're gonna share the screen again. And we're gonna skip, and we're gonna go to, let's see, next. Member news, offers, and events. We were a few minutes late due to an error, so my apologies, everyone. So we're gonna go for maybe 1 minute over. So is there any news, an offer, or an event that we should know about that you can type into the chat box, and one or two of you can share? It's okay. No news? I know you all have news. I know you all have events. All right, so let me say this. On our website, if you go to it, it will be a popular website. So please go to member news, offers, and events, because I know that Stephanie Graham is getting ready to do something. I know that quite a few of you are getting ready to do some wonderful things. So we'll go next to our member raffle. Is there anybody here that had a question for Bill that, if we had time, would have asked? Can you type your name into the chat box, and Tricia can announce that person? Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, Trish.
About building trust. Can you go a little bit deeper, like some of the simple strategies that maybe we've forgotten about that can help in building trust? Bill?
He may have
Sure.
left.
You know, my statement, which was, we good? So Trissa, you know, my statement was we had to do things together. That's harder than it sounds, because what we really have to negotiate is, what am I motivated to do, and what is my core competency? You know, what is my network? So the work up front of figuring out who's going to play what role is key. You know, we can all go down to the food bank and just sort food. But if we were focusing, say, on the business community here in Buckhead, you have a network this way. It really is announcing it, but then actually doing the work together. I think the other part is the debriefing. I mean, we always at Food Bank and Food Well Alliance is we do the work, but then we have a conversation about what it meant, or what questions does it raise, or, do I want to follow the food out the door and visit the agency or the congregation that's going to serve it or the client that's going to eat it? So looking at the whole stream instead of just the moment that you're in, I think is what really changes the dynamics in the community.
Great question. And you know what? We do that in the BCN. We do a debrief after every event, and it makes a big difference. And we also prep before every event. Tricia, you've won a case from John Parker Promotions, the 12 bottles of hand sanitizer. John, are you with us?
I'm with you.
John, you know Tricia. Tricia knows you.
Hey,
John's
Trish.
in my neighborhood. I'll stop by, John.
Okay, you lucky girl.
Okay, before we sign off, I wanted to go back to the shared screen and go next to our survey. So it has 2 questions, everyone. Buddy will send that out today and let us know your thoughts and feedback in addition to the chat. I want to thank everybody for being with us. Let me go back to stop share. It's great to see everybody, both our guests, our current members that just renewed, and also our new members. And thank you for your patience this morning. Means a great deal, and I'm sure we'll end that sucker and work on it during our debrief. But thank you for a great program, everybody. Thank you again, Bill. Bye-bye.